All right, guys, so I'm back from California. I'm really excited about put the video up last night, got some great feedback. Appreciate you guys taking the time to kind of give me some feedback on that whole vlog style, the different style video. So it sounds like basically I was really happy with the response because it sounded like most of you said, yeah, some of each would be good. You know, don't just do one style. Variety is good, so that's exactly great for me because this style is easier where we just do a quick video, talk about something that's about the snakes. That's my preference. But maybe when we do some traveling or do some other stuff, we'll do a little bit more longer format and kind of show the background a little bit more. So, okay, so today I walked in the door. It's Monday morning. Chase told me we have a clutch to set up, and that's super exciting because this time of year we don't get a lot of clutches. It's early. My season goes pretty late. So we have a clutch to set up, and I thought, man, it'd be a really good chance to do a update on a ProTips. We've never updated a ProTips video before, but as far as setting up clutches, I think I can go a lot more in depth with it now than I did in the past. Plus, we do things a little bit differently that I found maybe work a little bit better. So we're going to do that today. We're going to go through just kind of setting up this clutch, how I do it, and go through the different steps, and hopefully it'll make an awesome video and you guys enjoy it. So we're going to set up a clutch here, and this will be a little bit of an update to some of the pro tips, the previous pro tips of how I did it. So over the years, I've changed a little bit as far as the techniques and different ways I set it up. So we're going to do it today. We have a cool clutch. It's kind of early in the season, but we're still getting a few clutches here and there. This is a pastel leopard clown. Let's pull her down here. On a really nice, good-looking clutch. Great looking girl. This is one of the very first females. In fact, this is from the very first year I made them in 2013. And looking at the card here, I'll just zoom in on this. So we had a lay date of 4/6. Today is the 2nd, so she's 4 days early according to our calculations. So last year we bred her to the Banana Inchy het clown, but we bred her 3 times and did not get a clutch. So this year we came back and did it differently to a Phantom Blackhead het clown, and this is really exciting. We did it 3 times again, and we have eggs this time. I'm not sure what the difference ended up being on this, but this year she wanted to go. So it's kind of exciting because we can see some Phantom, actually it's the Blackhead that's really the key part in my opinion. I want to see a Phantom leopard clown, but I also really want to see a Blackhead leopard clown. I think there's some really cool interplay between those 2 genes that we'll see in the clown that maybe it'll be something really, really cool. So let's find out. Okay, so setting up this clutch, we have, basically, it's pretty easy. Usually I take a picture of them. I'm going to grab my phone here, take a picture of them for my records. There we go. She's gorgeous. And we'll go ahead and pull her off her eggs. Now, if you catch them fairly soon after they lay, they're going to be pretty gentle. They're not going to want to really, fight you much. But if they've been, you give them 4 or 5 hours after they've laid, they get their energy back and they'll want to come at you a little bit and bite. But she's really, really just worn out from laying, so she's not one to put up any kind of fight. Just a little bit of hissing. That's no big deal. All right, I'll set her here for a second in her egg box and pull them out and put her back in her tub. So we'll go back here and we will wash her and give her a brand new clean tub and basically try to get the smell of eggs out of the tub completely. That way she can go back to eating again and just thriving and start working on doing well again. Okay, so next thing I do is I'll go ahead and set up the tub. I use a 6-quart Sterilite shoebox. They sell these at Walmart for like $1.20 or $1 whatever, and pretty cheap. And they fit most clutches. I don't ever really put more than 10 eggs in one of these. If it is, I'll split it between two bins, just because they get a little bit too tight in there, and that can cause some issues. So I use a vermiculite. I don't have my scooping scooper. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. So I use vermiculite, and this is all I go ahead and mix up with water about, I don't know how much this is. This is probably about 7 or 8 gallons worth at a time. That way I don't have to mix it up in the moment. The other thing is I usually keep this in my incubator so that it's already kind of preheated. The vermiculite is go ahead and preheated to the 89 degrees. So it's already, if you mix them up with cold water, even warm water, you really don't know what temperature it's going to be when you put the eggs in. Okay, so the next step is separating the eggs. You don't have to do this. You can put the whole thing in as one big clump. That's okay. I like them separated because it makes it a little bit easier for me to see what they are when they're coming out. I can see each egg individually. And they're really easy to pull apart as long as you take the eggs from the female, relatively early. If it gets much more than 8 or 10 hours, even a whole day afterwards, they're much more difficult to pull them apart. So I make a little, I put them right down in the substrate. I used to use like a little light diffuser to keep them up off the substrate. I found that I was having more problems with eggs drying out with that. So you see I make a little divot just for the egg to sit in there so it won't roll either way, and it kind of gets it down into the vermiculite a little bit. And looks like we have a total of 7 eggs. They're good size. I would say slightly larger than average, but not huge.
I can see a little bit.
All right, so it's dark now, and we have turned off the light so that we can, we're going to candle the eggs to find out where the veins are. So the goal is when the female lays the eggs, she'll lay them yolk down and veins up. And some of them will get rolled around in the process of her kind of gathering the eggs in to stack them up. But you see here, what's coming through? Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so you see here all these veins on top. When you see that, you're golden. Don't worry, you don't have to move that egg at all. And you can also kind of see there's like an air bubble that forms. If I can find an angle that highlights it, you can kind of see the edge of it there. That lighter kind of circle, it's about the size of a $50 or so. That's going to be, you're on the very top when you see that, and the embryo's in the middle of that. Sometimes you can actually see the embryo a little bit, but not so much on this egg. Okay, next one. Okay, see how the air bubble, you can see it real clearly, is turned to the side. That means it's just a couple degrees turned. There we go. And you can see the embryo in the center of that dark mass in the center of the air bubble. This one too, it's the same thing. See there. Perfect. Same thing, exactly the same percentage of turn. Now this one's going the other way quite a bit. So there's the circle, and there's the embryo, the dark mass in the center there. Super cool. Okay, this one, let me show you on this one, just so you can see what they're like when they're completely upside down. So if they're completely upside down, what you're going to see how there's this yellow area here with absolutely no veins in it whatsoever. That's the bottom of the egg. That's the full yolk. If you go up into here, try to touch the screen right there on the egg and see if it. Then we have the veins showing here at the top. We're back to good on that one. And last one is fine. Usually they're mostly all perfect. Sometimes you get one or two that's flipped over, and I can't honestly say exactly what the percentage of, if it'll go bad, if it's flipped completely opposite, or if it will at all. What I know is that I've been turning them right side up forever, and I've had a really good success with it. So if you guys have feedback that says that it's not necessary, I'd love to hear about that. I'm always trying to learn, but this works really well for me to do it this way. Okay, so we've candled them. They're all set. They're all pretty. They're all right side up. So now what I do is, if you just put this lid on, it depends on what type of tub you use, but if you just put the lid on, in most tubs, there is a fair amount of air being exchanged from the outside. And in my incubator, I have a big fan, it's blowing a lot, so we get a lot of air coming in and coming out, which basically leaches the moisture out of the tub. Right now we have it set perfectly. We have that 50-50 ratio, the right amount of wetness for the vermiculite. So we're good. We want it to stay in there. We want all that moisture to stay in there. So what we use is basically a Glad wrap, cling wrap here, and we just you can use a press and seal, whatever. Just the same similar kind of product. Basically, something that's going to seal that entire lid completely, so they're not going to get any air exchange. I know a lot of people go in there, and every week of its incubating, they'll go in there and they will, pop the lid, let a little air in there, whatever. That's okay, but I will tell you that I never do that. Once I seal this up, it will not become unsealed until they start hatching. So it is completely unnecessary to exchange air with the outside while it's incubating. It's perfect this way. You can just let it be unless you want to. Unless you want to get in there and do some work on them. It's okay. It's okay. Some people just like messing with their eggs. But I leave them alone completely. Alright, so okay, once you have your clutch all sealed up, it's time to fill out the card. It's important to keep the information of the clutch with the clutch. That way there's all kinds of discrepancies. I would say a lot of times people ask me for help on IDing a clutch. It's because there was some discrepancy along the way, either with the breeder male or just the record of it, or keeping the record with the clutch, you name it. So I have a clutch card that I've made that I've had printed just for us, and it's kind of cool. We've been using these for about 5 years now, and it has room for all the information. We thought about actually selling these on our website, and they'd be cheap, but just make them available to you guys. But it's a great little card. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and fill that out here. 2018. I don't know off the top of my head what clutch number we're on, so we'll skip that until we get to the incubator and find out what that is. Facility, JKR, of course. The dame is 2013, clutch 145, female, pastel, Leo, clown, number 1, and sire. Now, I am going to put both sires, even though the one was from last year and has basically no chance. It's just part of keeping a good record, so that we will know if there's anything that's hard to account for or understand when you see the clutch. We will see the record. I'll say 2016. Let's do it in 17. And then we have a phantom. Blackhead, het clown, 3 times. Okay, so those are 2 males. We have our due date was the April 6th, but it was actually laid on April 2, and there were 7 eggs and 0 slugs. Okay, it's ready. So what we do now is we take the actual breeding piece of paper here and put it on here, because that's just our extra insurance, so to make sure that we can validate all this information with the information that we had on the card. Then I recorded on the inside of the female's card as well. So this is 2018 to a phantom, blackhead, het clown equals 7 eggs on 4-2. All right, and we are set now. So we'll take this, and we are just going to basically use our little piece of tape there to attach it to the front, and we're going to write on the front of the thing. We don't have our pen for that either. Okay, last step after we have the card is basically just to double down. If this card were to be blown off or anything, we need to be able to associate it with there. So we're going to put, I'll put the date that's going to hatch, which will be 60 days from today, so 6/2. And then I'll put the clutch number on the front as well when I find out what the clutch number is. So, and then we'll have basically double validation. It's all about validation, so we can always go back here and look as well at the female, inside the female's card, to find out who the sire was, who the clutch number was, associate with the card, associate with the box. Can't allow mistakes, it's just too important. So that's how I set up a clutch. Let's go put it in the incubator. So we're put it in the incubator, and this is the final step. And now we're done. That's how we set up the clutch at JKR.